The story begins as the currents carry a man named Cobb to the shore, where he is discovered by the guard, who takes him to an old man, Mr. Cato. Cobb only possesses a gun and a top which shocks Seattle as he remembers the top from a dream long ago. The movie cuts to a flashback of Cobb and his partner Arthur on a cruise, proposing the idea of protecting his dream world from extractors to Kaito, but Kaito isn't impressed and departs. The cruise room begins to shake, and the scene shifts to their actual room, revealing their dreaming. Within the dream, Cobb successfully steals information, but is caught by his ex, Mal, and Kaito. Holding Arthur at gunpoint, Mal corners Cobb. Unexpectedly, Kaito discloses that he's aware that they are dreaming. In response, Cobb shoots Arthur, jolting him awake. Still within the dream, Cobb reads confidential papers before his team wakes him by tossing him into a tub. They wake up and interrogate Seattle for missing information. Kaito tells Cobb his deception was obvious but unknown to him, and they remain in another dream while they are physically asleep on a train. Arthur discreetly signals Cobb to hurry, leading Cobb to throw Kaito onto the carpet. The carpet's texture makes Kaito realize he's still in a dream. Everyone except Kaito wakes and escapes, leaving him isolated on the train. The following evening, Cobb receives a call from his children, unsettling him as he can't return home. Kaito is already aboard when they reach a helicopter to leave the country. He proposes that if Cobb agrees to plant an idea in his competitor's son Robert's mind to destroy his father's empire, Kaito will help Cobb return to his children in America. Cobb consents and heads to Paris to scout an architect for his team. He visits his father-in-law's university. His father-in-law introduces him to Ariadne, a student, offering her a job on Cobb's team. Cobb teaches her dream-building basics, and she creates a real bridge in a dream, which triggers Cobb's memories of Mal. In that dream, Mal stabs Ariadne, which causes her to wake up. Arthur tells Ariadne about the need for a totem, a unique object proving she's no longer dreaming. Cobb's totem is a spinning top. However, Ariadne decides she can't trust Cobb and chooses to leave. Cobb predicts she'll return, as reality is insufficient for her. He instructs Arthur to have Ariadne create mazes in her dreams for practice. Cobb departs for Mombasa, meeting Ames, a skilled dream forger. Ames advises that Inception must begin subtly, focusing on the son's relationship with his father, a difficult task. He introduces Cobb to chemist Yusuf, who can assist them. Spotting his previous contractor, Cobb is on the run until Kaito surprisingly saves him, taking him to Yusuf. Initially hesitant, Yusuf agrees to 3 dream levels, despite their instability. Despite their objections, Kaito insists on joining the dream to ensure success. Meanwhile, Ariadne returns, and Arthur educates her about dream mazes. He reveals Mal's death, a presence that haunts Cobb's subconscious. Yusuf demonstrates the reliability of his compounds, and on a rooftop, Cobb and Kaito discuss Robert and their mission. Kaito discloses that Robert is poised to become a global energy superpower, which is what Kaito wants to stop from happening. Ames infiltrates the company as a worker, gathering intel on the sick Maurice and his son Robert, alongside Robert's godfather, Mr. Browning. He proposes impersonating Browning at the first dream level, planting the idea in Robert's mind. The concept will re-emerge in the second level through Robert's projection of Browning. Later, in the office, only Cobb and Ariadne remain. She attempts to show him a maze map, but he declines, fearing Mal's interference if he is deeply familiar with the maze. Ariadne urges him to seek help, but Cobb resists, burdened by the accusation of being Mal's killer. The following day, they plan to emotionally connect Robert to establish his empire rather than extend his father's. An intense sedative will keep them deeply asleep, while specific music triggers will control awakening. The strategy will unfold during Robert's 10-hour flight from Sydney to La, potentially affording them 10 dream years. Kaito purchases the airline to prevent disruptions. They rehearse the plan diligently over several days. One night, Ariadne catches Cobb dreaming and chooses to enter his dream. Inside, she observes Cobb attempting to confine Mail to prevent her from destroying the plan. Ariadne voices her doubts, but their conversation is cut short by Kaito and Arthur. They bring news of Maurice's passing and inform them that Robert will be on a 10-hour flight for the funeral. Robert and the team board the flight, and Cobb sedates Robert. At level 1 of the dream, they abduct Robert, but are unexpectedly met with his subconscious army trained to keep away imposters and extractors. Seattle gets shot on the way and is in critical condition. They take Robert to a warehouse where they pretend to torture Ames, pretending to be Browning to agitate Robert. He tells them to stop, and they put Ames in his room, considering Ames to be Browning. Robert reveals his awful relationship with his father, and they force him into revealing a random number that he thinks is the code to his father's safety. They tell him a will is there that deprives Robert of all inheritance and wants to have him make his way. On the other side, Ariadne questions Cobb about his past, and he reveals that he and Mal became trapped in limbo for over 50 years and constructed their reality. When they eventually woke up, Mal's perspective changed. She believed reality was no longer real, and they needed to die to escape the true world. When Cobb disagreed with her, she wrote a letter to an attorney, implying that if she died, he was responsible. Tragically, she jumped to her death. Despite Cobb's efforts to present evidence of her deteriorating mental state, no one accepted that she committed suicide. Cobb had no choice but to flee. Robert's subconscious army suddenly surrounds the warehouse, forcing them to flee. Yusuf drives as they enter the second dream level, posing as part of Robert's subconscious to gain his trust. Everyone except Yusuf awakens in a hotel. Cobb identifies himself as the leader of Robert's subconscious army, explaining that someone is manipulating Robert's mind, and they're there to rescue him. They urge Robert to trust them, but when he puts a gun to his head in an attempt to wake up, Cobb clarifies that he would not wake up because this is a complex extraction. They convince Robert that Browning is his enemy and propose going into Browning's subconscious to uncover his true feelings. Robert agrees, and Arthur remains on the second level, while the rest progress to the third level. Challenges arise for Yusuf on the first level, causing the car to overturn and impacting other levels. With Yusuf's situation becoming critical, he has only 10 seconds to jump, giving Arthur a 3-minute window on the second and 60 minutes on the third level. To ensure Robert and Ames reach the headquarters in time, Ariadne explains the air duct system that offers a shortcut through the maze. They decided to send a signal called Kick, which Yusuf will send into the second level and Arthur into the third level, causing them to wake up, reach a level down, and finally escape their dreams. Yusuf steers the car off the bridge, narrowly missing the kick. The extreme motion of the car leads to an avalanche on the third level. They are determined to complete their mission before the next kick when the van hits the water. Robert and Ames enter the inside headquarters, but the entire army converges on them. Unexpectedly, Mal emerges and shoots Robert. Cobb retaliates by shooting Mal, yet fails to shield Robert in time. With Robert now trapped in limbo, the mission has failed due to Cobb's projection of Mal. However, Ariadne proposes descending to limbo, where more time is available to save the mission. Cobb and Ariadne descend into limbo, the fourth dream in a dream. In the depths of limbo, Cobb shows Ariadne the various places he created while residing there, eventually leading her to the building where he finds Mal. Cobb says that Inception is complex, a seed that can define or destroy you. As they reach the floor, Mal appears, continuing Cobb's speech. She asserts that simple ideas can change everything, like your world not being real. Mal forces him to acknowledge that this world is real. Cobb counters that his guilt leads him to reality, which stems from planting the idea that drove Mal to take her life. He reveals that he initiated Inception in her mind, convincing her that her world wasn't authentic and that death in limbo would lead to awakening in the real world. Tragically, the idea persisted even in reality, growing like cancer and ultimately leading to her suicide. As the van approaches the water, Arthur and Ames prepare for the kick and signal Limbo. Cobb informs Mail that he'll stay if she lets Robert go, and Ariadne checks on Robert's condition. Confirming he is alive, she urges Cobb to leave, but he insists on staying to find Kaito, who is dead and now in limbo. Ariadne shoots Mail and pushes Robert off the building, causing him to wake up on level 3. Ames swiftly sends Robert to his father, who imparts his disappointment for Robert's attempt to become his father rather than becoming himself. With the safe opened, Robert discovers a will allowing him to embark on his journey. As the van plunges into the water, the kick reverberates, and everyone awakens. Before waking up, Ariadne urges Cobb not to lose himself and to ensure Kaito's return. Upon awakening in the van, they swim ashore, and Robert says he wants to live as his person. The narrative circles back to the initial scene, where Cobb encounters a remorseful, aging Seato waiting for his end. Cobb twirls the top that keeps spinning, ensuring it's still a dream. He asks Seato to return, urging him to relive their youth together. Seato shoots Cobb, and he wakes in the plane 20 minutes before their landing in Lao. To his relief, the entire team, including Seato, is unharmed. A call from Seato confirms that Cobb can smoothly pass airport immigration. Returning home, Cobb embraces his children tightly. He sets the top spinning on a table to test reality, but ignores it as the joy of being with his children is much greater. Inception, released in 2010. Directed by Christopher Nolan, produced on a budget of approximately between $160 million to $200 million. Inception won 4 Academy Awards out of 8 nominations: Best Cinematography, Best Sound Editing, Best Sound Mixing, and Best Visual Effects. It was also nominated for Best Picture, Best Original Screenplay, Best Art Direction, and Best Original Score. The film received widespread critical acclaim for its innovative storytelling, intricate plot, thematic depth, and impressive visual effects. It was both a commercial and critical success. Inception is often cited as a modern cinematic masterpiece and is emblematic of Christopher Nolan's signature style of blending intricate narratives with grandiose, thought-provoking themes. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe for more videos like this. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you at the next recap.